Welcome back. In our last class, we have seen the important formulae of compound interest. In today's class, we will solve a few problem sums based on mainly compound interest. So let's get started. The first problem sum says Rajat received a sum of rupees 4,000 as a loan from a finance company. If the rate of interest is 7% per annum, compounded annually, calculate the compound interest that Rajat pays after 2 years. So what are the information is given is the principal amount, which is rupees 4,000, that Rajat receives from the finance company as a loan. So this is the amount. Then the rate of interest, which is 7% per annum. And also the information which is given is the interest is compounded annually. And also the time period, which is 2 years, the total interest paid by Rajat after that time period. Though to simplify this type of problem sum, we already have formula available with us, but in today's class, the problem sums that we will be solving, we will not use directly those formulae. Rather, we will be simplifying these problem sums step by step in detail. So what we will do first is we will calculate that how much is the interest, how much is that amount after 1 year. So rate of interest is 7% per annum. That means interest on rupees 100 in 1 year is rupees 7. So that's what we mean by 7% interest. Now when the principal amount is 1, definitely that interest will be less than 7. So it will be 7 divided by 100. Now when that amount is 4,000, definitely it will be 4,000 times of this amount. So it will be 7 divided by 100, which is for rupees 1 when the principal amount is rupees 1. Now when the principal amount is rupees 4,000, so it will be 4,000 times. It will be then rupees 280. So this is the interest that Rajat needs to pay after 1 year. So after 1 year, since this is compound interest, so the principal amount will be the initial principal amount, which was 4,000, and then the interest that will be accumulated with that. So principal amount will be now rupees 4,000 was initial principal amount, and then 280 is the interest after 1 year. So after 1 year, the revised principal amount will be 4,280 rupees. Now in the next year, we have to calculate the interest by taking this amount as principal amount, and that is what the concept of compound interest. So in the second year, how we will calculate? Again, the rate of interest is same. So on rupees 100 in 1 year, the interest amount is rupees 7. Then definitely for rupees 1, the interest amount will be 7 divided by 100. And now this is the principal amount, rupees 4,280. So now we have to find that how much will be the interest on this amount. So for rupees 1, this is the interest, 7 divided by 100. And when the principal amount is 4,280, so it will be 4,280 times. So it will be multiplied by 4,280. And finally, this amount will be rupees 299.6. Now this is the interest in second year, and this much was the interest in first year. And what is the requirement of this problem sum? Calculate the compound interest, means total compound interest that Rajat pays after 2 years. So we have to find the total compound interest. So total compound interest means what Rajat pays in first year, and that amount is 280, and what Rajat pays in second year, and that amount is 299.6. So if we add these two, then the total amount will be nothing but 579.6 rupees. So this is the total compound interest that Rajat needs to pay after 2 years. Now the next problem sum says Olivia borrowed rupees 6,400 rupees from a bank for 1.5 years, means 1 year and 6 months, at the rate of 10% per annum. compute the total compound interest payable by Olivia after 1.5 years if the interest is compounded half yearly. Again, to solve this type of problem, we have formula available, though it will take more time, but we will simplify in detail only. But in our following classes, we will be simplifying this type of problem sum by using their corresponding formula. So what are the information is given? The principal amount. Initially, it was rupees 6400 that Olivia borrowed from a bank. So this is the principal amount. Then the time period, which is 1.5 years, the total time period after which we have to calculate we need to calculate the total interest, compound interest payable by Olivia. Also the rate of interest, which is 10% per annum, that is also given, and this information given that the interest is compounded half yearly. So based on this information, we will proceed further. So what we will do is, since the interest is compounded half yearly, means after every 6 months, so and the total time period is 1.5 years, so what we will do is we will break the total time period into 3 parts. So in every part we will simplify this problem for every 6 months, and after finding the interest amount in every 6 months, we will add that interest amount with the principal amount. So that will become the revised principal amount, and based on that revised principal amount for the next 6 months, we will find the interest, and that way we will complete for 1.5 years. So the rate of interest is 10%. 10% means on rupees 100 in 1 year, the interest amount is rupees 10. So interest on rupees 100 in 1 year is rupees 10. Fine. So interest on rupees 1 in 1 year will be definitely less than rupees 10, and that will be divided by rupees 100. Now when the principal amount is rupees 6400, then it will be 6400 times this interest amount is only for rupees 1. So when the principal amount will be 6400, so it will be 6400 times, so it will be 1 divided by 10 if we simplify this, and then 6400 times. So again we can simplify here only, and then we will find, since we are finding the interest for every 6 months, every 6 months means half year, so this till then this interest amount was for 1 year. Now when the time period will be changed from 1 year, accordingly we have to proceed. So far the interest amount is 640, and when the time was 1 year, now the time is half year, so it will be multiplied by half. So how much will be the amount? It will be then rupees 320. So this is the interest that Olivia needs to pay after 6 months. Now how much will be the principal amount then? Revised principal after 6 months. The initial principal amount was 6400, and then with that we will add the interest. So this will become rupees 6720. Now this is our principal amount for next 6 months, and we need to pay the interest based on this amount. So again the same concept, interest on rupees 100 in 1 year is how much? The rate of interest is same, and that is 10%, so it will be rupees 10. So when the principal amount will be 1, then it will be 10 divided by 100, and and that is for 1 year. So when the time is half year, then it will be multiplied by half. So 10 by 100 means it is 1 by 10, and then it will be multiplied by half. And when the principal amount is 6720, then it will be 1 divided by 20. 10 multiplied by 2 is 20, and then multiplied by 6720. So either we can proceed for the principal amount first and then the time period later, or we can proceed for the time period first, as we have done for the second case, and then we can proceed for the actual principal amount. Now if we simplify this, then it will be rupees 336. So this is the interest that Olivia needs to pay for the next 6 months, and for that the principal amount was 6720. Now again we have another 6 months for which Olivia needs to pay the interest. So then the revised principal amount will be initial. Now the principal amount is 6720, and with that the interest will be added. So the revised principal amount will be rupees 7056, and now on that principal amount we have to find the interest for another 6 months. So again the procedure will be same. So on rupees 100 in 1 year, the interest is again the rate of interest remains same, and that is 10. So here rupees 10. Then for rupees 1, the interest will be 10 divided by 100, then that is for 1 year. But if the time period is half year, means 6 months, then it will be 1 by 10 multiplied by half, and this is the interest when the principal amount is 1. But when the principal amount will be 7056, this interest, which is 1 by 20, that will be multiplied by 7056, and if we calculate further, then this amount will be rupees 352.8. So this is the interest in last 6 months, and what we wanted to find is we wanted to compute the total compound interest payable by Olivia after 1.5 years. So that means the total interest, compound interest payable by Olivia after 1.5 years will be, in the first 6 months she pays this much interest, and that is rupees 320, and then in the following 6 months she pays 336 this much as interest, so that will be added, and then in the last 6 months she pays 352.8 that much amount as interest. So when we will add all of them, then that will be the total compound interest payable by Olivia after 1.5 years, and that amount will be 1008.8, so this much rupees. The next problem sum is about to find the compound interest at the rate of 10% per annum for 2 years on that principal, which in 2 years at the rate of 10%, the same rate of interest per annum, gives rupees 200 as simple interest. So here the principal amount is not known, but on the same principal amount, when we are applying simple interest at the same rate of interest 10% for 2 years, then that total interest amount is rupees 200. And on that principal, same principal amount, we need to find the total compound interest after 2 years. So what we will do is we will first find the principal amount when the total interest is 200 after 2 years at the rate of 10% per annum. So rate of interest 10% per annum means simple interest is rupees 10 in 1 year when the principal amount is 100, right? So 10%, so 10 rupees 10 is the interest when the principal amount is rupees 100, and that interest amount is accumulated in 1 year. Now when the simple interest will be only 1 in 1 year, then the principal amount will be definitely less than 100, so it will be 100 divided by 10. So this much is the principal amount when the interest, simple interest is 1, and that is in 1 year. Now what we will be doing, we will be keeping the interest amount same, and that is rupees 1, and we will increase the time period from 1 year to 2 years. Now we have to see that how much will be then the principal amount. Now since this is a problem of simple interest, now suppose when we are investing rupees 100 for 1 year, and at the end of 1 year if we get rupees 10 as interest, then if we increase the time period from 1 year to 2 years, and if we get rupees 10 as interest, the same interest if we get, and if we want to get the same interest in double time, then the principal amount that we need to invest will be half of the amount that we invested. So the same concept we will be applying here. So when the interest was rupees 1 in 1 year, then the principal amount was 10. Now when the interest is again the same rupees 1, but this time we are increasing the time period in 1 year, instead of in 1 year we want to get the same interest in 2 years. So when we are increasing the time period, then definitely we need to invest less amount of money. And that's why here the principal amount will be half of the initial principal amount. So it will be 10 divided by 2. Now what we will do, we will keep the time period same, and we will increase the interest. So more interest means more principal amount. So that's why here it will be 10 divided by 2 and then multiplied by rupees 200. So this time it will be 100, and the total amount will be rupees 1000. Now what we have to do, we have to find the compound interest at the rate of 10%, same rate of interest per annum for 2 years on the same principal amount. Now by now we have obtained the principal amount, so on that now we'll apply the concept of compound interest, and since at the end of 2 years we need to find the total interest, so year by year we will find. So compound interest on rupees 100 in 1 year is how much? The rate of interest is 10% per annum. So it will be rupees 10. Now when the principal amount will be reduced from 100 to 1, so the interest will be also reduced, and that will be divided by 100. And the time period is same, and that is 1 year. Now when the principal amount will be 1000, keeping the time period same, and that is 1 year, so it will be 1000 times, so it will be 100 divided by 10 divided by 100 and then multiplied by 1000. Rupees 100 will be the interest after 1 year on this principal amount, which is rupees 1000. Now the revised principal amount will be how much? Initially the principal amount was 1000, and now the interest after 1 year is 100. So revised principal amount will be rupees 1100. Now we are finding the total compound interest after 2 years. Since I don't have much space here, so I will calculate that in short. I will not be writing the full sentence here. So what will be the calculation? The rate of interest, which is same, and that will be 10, and then divided by 100, and then that will be multiplied by the principal amount, which is 1100 this time. So it will be multiplied by 1100. So this will cancel each other, this 0 will cancel each other, and how much will be then the interest in second year or after second year? It will be 110. So the total compound interest will be how much then? In first year the interest was 100, in the second year this much is the interest amount. So after 2 years, the total compound interest will be 210, and this is how we simplify. Now the next problem sum says that Mr. A borrowed rupees 2000 from Mr. B at 18% per annum simple interest. He lent that amount which he has borrowed from Mr. B. Now Mr. A lent that to Mr. C at the same rate but compounded annually. Find his gain after 2 years. So after 2 years we have to find that how much interest, simple interest, Mr. A needs to pay to Mr. B, and Mr. A will get from Mr. C as compound interest. So this is a problem which will involve the concept of simple interest as well as compound interest. So separately we will find, based on the information which is given, the total simple interest after 2 years and total compound interest after 2 years. So step by step we will proceed. So first we will find the simple interest. Mr. A borrowed from Mr. B. This time the principal amount is rupees 2000 and the rate of interest is 18% per annum and simple interest, and the total time period is 2 years. So as per the concept of rate of interest that we know, 18% per annum means on rupees 100 in 1 year the total interest amount is 18. So when the time is same, that is 1 year, and if we are reducing the principal amount from 100 to 1, definitely it will be 18 divided by 100. That amount will be reduced proportionately. Now when the principal amount is same, which is 1, and we are increasing time period from 1 year to 2 years, since this is simple interest, so this way we can proceed. So it will be 18 multiplied by 2 and then divided by 100. That means 18 divided by 100 will be multiplied by 2. So this interest amount will be twice the interest that we were getting in 1 year, or we were calculating in 1 year. Now when the principal amount will be this time rupees 2000 instead of 1, and the time frame is now same, that is 2 year. So it will be whatever interest we were calculating for 2 years for 1 rupees. Then since the rupees has been increased, the principal amount has been increased from 1 to 2000. So this amount will be also increased 2000 times. So it will be 18 multiplied by 2 divided by 100, and that will be multiplied by 2000. So this 0 will cancel each other. So this amount will be rupees 72 0. But Mr. C also needs to pay to Mr. A some compound interest after 2 years, and that we will calculate next. So interest on rupees 100 in 1 year is rupees 18 because the rate of interest is same. Now on rupees 1 in 1 year the interest will be definitely 18 divided by 100. We are reducing from 100 to 1, so the interest will be reduced proportionately. Now when the principal amount is 2000, then the interest amount will be 18 divided by 100 and then 2000 times. So this 0 will cancel each other and the interest amount will be 360. So this is the interest that Mr. C will pay to Mr. A after 1 year. But here we will be calculating the total compound interest after 2 years. So the revised principal amount will be, initially that principal amount was 2000, and then on that we have accumulated 360 as interest. So the revised principal will be 2360 rupees, and this is our principal amount now for the next year. Again the concept is same and the rate of interest is also same, and that is 18%. So when the principal amount is rupees 100, so in 1 year the interest amount is rupees 18. Now when the principal amount is 1 in 1 year, then the interest will be 18 divided by 100. And when the principal amount is, this time it is 2360 rupees, then the interest will be 2360 times of this amount. So it is 18 divided by 100 and then it will be multiplied by 2360, and when we will calculate further, then this amount will be rupees 424.8. So next what we have to do, after 2 years the total compound interest we have to find. So total compound interest will be then how much? In 1 year or in first year the interest was rupees 360, so 360, and in the second year the interest is rupees 424.8. so this much is the total compound interest after 2 years that Mr. C will pay to Mr. A, and this much is the total simple interest after 2 years that Mr. A will pay to Mr. B. So Mr. A is receiving this much amount 784.8 as interest from Mr. C, and he is paying this much amount to Mr. B. So definitely he is in some gain. And how much will be that amount? Rupees 64.8. So this is how we simplify the problem sums based on simple interest as well as compound interest. I hope this class was meaningful to you. In the next class, we will be simplifying more problem sums based on the compound interest, and we will be directly using those formula. So stay tuned. Thank you.